Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Yalek, and in today's video I'm going to show you a way that I approach a particular kind of tough corner setup designed to specifically to ward off warrior attacks. However, you know me, I'm stubborn and I like my warrior attacks. So I just developed a workaround and I go ahead and I run warriors on these guys anyway. Don't know if you noticed, this is not boosted. It's kind of an in-between operation hits map clear, which is so far going fairly well. Now this win, I mean, a win's a win, not the prettiest win in the world. It's more the principle of the attack. But so yeah, all things considered, I'll take it. That's still considered going well. You do see ice over there, no shield though, and so his mines are not terrible here. Obviously he has mined the paths to his HQ, and this corner setup is what we're talking about here. So this guy has set up all around his HQ. He has continuous damage, that is the flamethrowers and the machine guns. He also has this SEMO, which is smart because that will be picking off warriors through much of your run as you approach the HQ, and it will be approaching them as you sit under smoke. So you're going to have to throw a critter in there somewhere. You're going to have to use extra GBE. He has a blaster. It's not really in a position to do much with this attack. Blasters and bullet can be a bad combination, but there it's not so much of a problem. If he had that right on the beach, that would actually be a right pain in the ass, to be honest. And this shock launcher should also be somewhere in range of his HQ, probably back here, you know, to have both directions covered in any case. So a pretty good setup all through his base. Could be a little better to defend against warriors, and in particular the corner here, all of that continuous damage piled around the HQ and put in positions. This is actually a very smartly laid out base. It's just that there's a way to beat anything. But these three defenses are right up against the edge of the base, and then the HQ is right up against those defenses, so there are no free tiles. Like you see, this mine is a tile space between this boom cannon and the headquarters, right? There are no free spaces between these defenses. So what people do that because it's very hard to shock these three defenses. Now if I'm going to rush you with warriors, I do want to make sure that these are accounted for. But it's very hard to shock them without shocking your warriors as well, because your shock is going to encompass some of a good part of the HQ there, actually. If I had to guess, where's my pen? If I had to guess, I mean, you throw your shock, even if you get it right up against the wall, you're still going to get, you'll get the three defenses, but you're going to get a quarter of your warriors as well. That's a problem. Same back here, although there is a little bit of space here, so you could get a shock down probably right about the top of that tree, and it would get this tower and this tower. Of course, you're going to have Bullitt, so Bullitt is going to taunt some of these things. He's probably not going to be able to taunt these if you use the traditional placement where you just run up from the front and rest on the HQ. So what I like to do in these cases, rather than trying to squeeze shocks into incredibly tight spaces and possibly shock my warriors as well, I just reposition Bullitt. And see, Bullitt is the sort of like the secret sauce, or the magic dust for a warrior attack. His ability to absorb damage and protect the warriors is what makes these attacks work so well. And the only thing is, I think people get maybe a little bit one-dimensional in thinking about, you know, these rushes. I mean, everybody approaches all of my bases when they rush warriors. They rush warriors just head on. There's never any there's never any trickery, I guess. Me, pretty much all the time, like every hit I do, I have to consider where I want Bullitt to land, and the ability to think like that and move him around can be really, really helpful. A lot of cases it gets you into the blind spot of, say, a shock launcher near the HQ, if it's somewhere in that area, and just by approaching from a different angle, you are able to incapacitate that tower just by virtue of the fact of Bullitt standing in that spot. In this case, what we're going to do, so I've already decided that my run-up is going to be along this line. Mines aren't too bad. Those 2 boom mines will need to go, and then we do need to clear mines on the HQ. What I want to do is I choose that line because I'm going from this storage, which is that iron storage, I think? Yeah, going from this iron storage back to this machine gun, and what that's going to do is going to land Bullitt someplace different from where he normally would. If you flare straight to the HQ, Bullitt's tile range is about 3 tiles, so Bullitt would normally end up standing about there. And when he stands there, he's definitely not going to be able to taunt behind the HQ. But if you have your warriors rush to this machine gun behind the headquarters, Bullitt is going to be drawn to a spot 3 tiles from that, which would be about here. He will be standing directly up against the HQ, and from there he'll be able to taunt this, and this will be in range. By virtue of the fact that these buildings on the right side of the HQ are all touching it, he will be able to taunt all of them as well. So now all of the nasty continuous damage towers that have been so carefully packed back into the corner of this base are now all debilitated, incapacitated at once. And now we just have to worry about other things to shock around the perimeter, which in this case, as I've said, is mainly this the one shock launcher that does happen to range. I think, yeah, actually I think that's the only shock necessary. So now that I've talked you through the attack, I probably should have shown the attack first, and then like walked through why I did what I did, but hopefully the description was easy enough that you'll be able to see it in action. Terrible run, as you can see. Like I said, this was not pretty. Now I'm going to slow that down. So as soon as I see Bullitt standing up against the HQ, I flare back to the HQ and get some critters in there for that CMO. Oh, I did shock the CMO as well. I didn't really need to. But you see here, oh, we missed one machine gun, and that's probably because I should have flared Bullitt a tiny bit sooner. I would have liked to flare him about 2 tiles back this way. So we didn't get this one machine gun, but everything else back here in this corner is completely focused on Bullitt, and that means the warriors can just do what they need to do. No GBE left, so it got pretty ugly at the end there. This guy did not have a terrible base, and he's got his HQ set way to the back. I've got to waste a critter box, I've got to waste extra smokes, and so on. I've got to waste extra flares, in this case, because I've got to move Bullitt around. So, not a bad base at all. It is pretty well designed to defend against that particular strategy. Unfortunately for that guy, like I said, there's a way to beat anything. Anyway, so for those tough corner bases, that is typically how I go about thinking about how to break them down, and I figured I would share that in case anybody cared. If you do care and you want to leave a thumbs up, or I suppose you could care enough that you'd want to leave a thumbs down, feel free to do that, and I'll probably respond to. So, on that note, I'm out. I will catch you guys later.